Interesting.
The stream, we are so prepared, as we've just indicated in the last 10 seconds. This is a live stream that Paul and I do every single Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here on twitch.tv/awesomehardware. We also stream the show in 2 halves on our respective YouTube channels. Today, we streamed to Paul's channel first, which was youtube.com/paulshardware. You can check that out in the link that I've put in my description below my YouTube video. And then now we're streaming to my half on my channel. So it's cool. It's equal, it's fair, it's split 50-50. This is a fun tech news show. We like to have a few drinks, so feel free to drink along with us, whatever that beverage may be. Just make sure you're drinking responsibly if it's an adult beverage like this one. And also, we occasionally use adult language, not like taxes or, you know, home loans, but rather swear words that deductible that you might not be comfortable with. So if you have little ones around, or if you have sensitive hearing, be aware, please. Apart from that, we have stores that we like to sell things on. My store is bitwit.tech, not /store. You can just go to bitwit.tech now, because the store is now the homepage. As I finally followed suit with Paul and completely given up on trying to update an actual website. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here: hoodies, shirts, mouse pads, glasses, mugs, all the stuff. Bottle openers, a lot of these things that we're using right now, actually. The glasses have been selling very well as usual. Also the shirts, some classic designs there. You can also head over to Paul.
I'm shining on your glasses. Look at those glasses.
Those are glasses. Okay. Woo! Beautiful. And paulshardware.net is his store. You can find a lot of the same type of quality materials with Paul's own flair added to them. Like his Oxblood t-shirt with the thumb screw on it. A lot of good stuff there. If you buy anything from either of our stores, we'll yell Johnson at you. If you buy something from both of our stores simultaneously, you'll get a big old double Johnson at the end of the show. It'll be glorious, and
I look forward to it.
Forever appreciative that we yelled at you. Another thing is that all the donations for today's episode, this includes both Paul's half and my half, will be going straight to our good friend and moderator Cell Processing. Because it's his birthday. So everyone wish Cell a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Cell.
Because he's awesome. He does a lot for our community and a lot for us here on the channel. So on the stream. So thank you very much, Cell. Have those donations rolling in the name of Cell Processing. And then I think that's pretty much it.
I have a quick announcement. Sorry.
Sure.
I today launched an 800,000 subscriber thank you giveaway on my channel.
Yep.
Paul's Hardware. So if you guys want to enter that, go and do it.
Heck yeah.
It's open for 2 weeks. I'm giving away some cool stuff, including a GTX 1080.
Nice.
And yeah, thanks to you guys who subscribed.
It's a pretty damn good giveaway. Happy belated congrats on 800K, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I almost missed it, and then I didn't. I decided to do a giveaway.
I like the title that you used for your giveaway.
Oh.
What was it? Something like somewhat like poorly planned.
It's kind of poorly planned, yeah. I just threw it together, but
points for honesty.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dive into the meat of the show, starting with our first segment, which is news, tech news. Starting with let's see, what's our first article here? I'm totally off the grid.
I don't know.
Apple. The whole Apple debacle with their MacBook Pro using Intel's new Core i9 processor, the 8950HK. It's a 6-core CPU. There were thermal throttling issues that were discovered initially by Dave Lee, a buddy of ours, a fellow tech YouTuber, Dave2D.
Dave2D
does some great work on his channel. You guys check it out, especially if you're into like mobile and laptop stuff. He found that this MacBook Pro, the new 2018 model with the Core i9, was actually thermal throttling pretty significantly, and the CPU core frequency was actually dipping well below the base clock frequency under a heavy load with Adobe Premiere Pro while
Even
encoding
below the
video.
Base clock?
Below the base clock.
That's
like
lame.
that's it's one thing if you can't hit the turbo, but holy crap, you can't even hit the advertised base clock, the bare minimum, which was advertised to be 2.9 gigahertz on these cores, was only showing 2.2 gigahertz in his testing. That's pretty darn significant when you're considering all 6 cores and potentially 12 threads. I think it's hyper-threaded. Don't quote me on that, though. And then this sort of sparked a whole blame game, right? There's all the Intel / and I feel like a lot of the PC fanboys are also on Intel's side here. Then there's the Apple fanboys who are saying, well, you know, if Intel had just not kept delaying their 10 nanometer CPUs, then maybe they'd run cooler and we wouldn't have this issue. And then, you know, Intel and PC side is like, well, you know what? Apple didn't have to put these CPUs inside of their laptops. They're so eager to get this product out. They could have improved or re-engineered the cooling solution to make the i9s run cooler. They could have, allowed their MacBook Pros to be just a little bit slightly thicker than they usually are, instead of trying to preserve the whole like sleek and sexy chassis mentality. But no, they went ahead with it anyway. Turns out that it doesn't really matter a whole lot, because Apple came out today with a statement saying that the whole issue, the whole thermal throttling, has nothing to do with Intel's CPU or has nothing to do with the MacBook Pro body, but rather a software bug. This is just a simple bug that can be instantly fixed with a quick software update. And sure enough, they've rolled out a fix that's available immediately. And this should basically restore everything to working order, and you should be able to hit all of those benchmarks and those performance numbers that are advertised by Apple. So holy crap, everyone was making a big stink, presumably over nothing. This was just announced today. This is the what's interesting is that after this update fix, we're also seeing that this is a cure for not just the flagship i9 MacBook Pro, but even some of the other lower tier models that don't even have Core i9s in them, which were thermal throttling, and now they aren't because of this software patch. So
I didn't have too much opportunity to look into this, but I saw some comment that said it wasn't the actual CPU that was thermal throttling. It was some adjacent controller chip that was actually doing it, and that's why Apple is able to actually solve this issue, or at least improve this issue.
Okay, I didn't read that in the article, but that could be true. With
a software update, because it seemed weird. Like, software update doesn't seem like it should be able to solve just something that's fundamental. Like, if the chassis is designed and it's too thin and it doesn't have proper heat dissipation, then okay. But Dave actually posted a video 35 minutes ago. So,
did he really?
Yeah.
After the patch.
Yeah. So he has a post-patch follow-up video.
So according to the article
neither of us have watched.
According to the article that I'm mentioning, it says that the patch was fine, to my knowledge. He said the patch works. Actually, he pinned a comment saying the patch works. This is on his recent video that he just posted. The patch works. It's still not as good as the thick boys, but I'll take the performance bump. So I think what he means by thick boys is some of the other laptop manufacturers who also incorporated or implemented i9s into their systems are running a bit faster and maybe a bit cooler overall than the MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
I think that's what he means. Thick meaning they're slightly thicker, right? Physically larger chassis. And so he's got some updated benchmark performance numbers here, which I suggest you guys take a look at if you're at all curious about this whole thing. So I guess the patch works. It's probably not 100% of the potential of the Core i9 that you might expect, but at least it seems like most of the heavy issues have been weeded out with this little fix here. So that's good. Could have been a real cluster F
but
had it been more of a hardware-based issue.
My personal stance on something like this would be, if they're able to patch it so it's not throttling down to beneath its base clock, what does that mean? That means it's only throttling down now to just its base clock, or just slightly above its base clock? Like,
I'd have to look at the video.
I can appreciate some of the design aesthetics of the MacBooks and everything, but I would much rather just have a slightly thicker laptop, even a slightly heavier laptop that didn't throttle, that had an adequate cooling solution, that wasn't able to just run it at the base clock, but maybe run it extensively at some boost clocks.
Right.
Because they can actually, boost frequency can go up a decent amount.
Right.
On these chips.
And that's kind of what it sounds like from Dave's comment and stuff so far, is that there is still maybe a smidgen of thermal throttling, even though we're still now able to get to the base clock. But I agree with Paul. You shouldn't settle for the bare minimum, especially when you're paying top dollar for a product like the MacBook Pro 15-inch. This is their flagship
Yeah,
notebook.
These are like
and it's
ridiculously
several
expensive.
thousands of dollars at their base model. So
Is this the one that can be up to like $6,000 plus?
Yes.
Depending on the.
Yes. So you don't pay $6,000. I don't care what product it is. You don't pay $6,000 for the bare minimum performance for a laptop like this. If it has additional headroom, the $6,000 in your pocket should allow you to hit those additional benchmarks and those additional whatever thresholds.
Yeah.
So good work on you, Dave, and congratulations to all the success you've had in the last year or two on your channel. It's doing fantastically, by the way. Awesome stuff, dude.
Dave's a big fan of Awesome Hardware.
Well deserved. Oh yeah, he watches us like
Every week.
every day, even though we only do one stream a week. That's how dedicated he is. He's found a way to.
I'm gonna eat this whole cookie.
He breaks it up into sevenths, just so he could watch a piece of it every day. That's how much he loves us. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave, for your patronage. We appreciate it. All right, moving on. Reddit user Zodane compiled this little list of a bunch of B450 motherboards from AMD. These are AM4 boards compatible with the second gen Ryzen chips.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them. There's some from Asus. There's one from Gigabyte, a couple from ASRock. Let's talk about these. These mostly seem available. The only one I didn't actually see pop up was the Amazon link. There's one Amazon link out of all those Newegg ones. I was just getting the dogs of Amazon again. I got flashbacks from frickin' Prime Day. You know, triggered by PTSD.
Can you just buy this right now?
You can just buy it, apparently.
Okay.
They are seemingly available right now.
All right.
All right.
Let's add to cart.
You should add it to cart and see.
No, I don't want your stupid.
Yeah.
Will call. Let's get will call pickup tomorrow.
Yeah, we could have a B450 board in here within 24 hours because we live next to the Newegg will call center, which is super cool. So you guys can buy B450 boards now, apparently from Newegg if you're in the US. So that's cool. There's a couple interesting ones here. The price range for all these boards, there's probably a dozen or so boards listed from this Reddit user, and the prices range from all the way down from $69 to about $129. So pretty decent range. If you're looking at one of the highest end boards that's on this list, there's the Asus ROG Strix B450F Gaming, which Paul will definitely bring up.
Here we go.
It's the prettiest board that's listed in my opinion. Of course, looks are subjective, but I think this one looks the nicest just in terms of the RGB and kind of the nicer heat sinks. I would also
look, it has cybertext on the heatsink.
Cybertext.
Cybertext
Me. We were cyber-texting each other.
Sounds like online porn.
I'm having cyber-text with you. And then there's VRM heatsink looks a little bit more substantial than some of the cheaper models that are on this list, so that's nice. Maybe some additional overclocking headroom here. It's
fixed
again,
I/O shield.
Fixed I/O shield, yes, integrated right on the I/O cover. It's really nice. It's got RGB lighting, of course, with you know, some RGB headers, couple RGB headers there.
Couple M.2s.
Couple M.2s as well. And plenty of USB 3.1 to go around. They've got 2 Gen 2 ports that are Type A, and 4 USB 3.1 Gen 1 ports that are also Type A. 3 of which are Type A, and 1 is Type C. So plenty of connectivity there. There's also the Gigabyte. The only Gigabyte board that was listed towards the end here was the B450 Aorus Pro Wi-Fi Rev 1.0 at $119, so $10 cheaper than the ROG board we just looked at. Also has RGB, also has 2 M.2 slots.
I don't see a Gigabyte.
It should be on the Reddit page. Probably at the very bottom. Aorus Pro ATX.
Oh.
So this one also has plenty of USB 3.1, Gen 1, and Gen 2 ports. Kind of has a...
Aha.
They did the thing again.
120.
They did the thing again where it's got some orange accents on the heat sinks.
They're sticking with the orange. They're doubling down.
I'm thinking maybe they're swappable or something. Maybe it comes with extras in the box or something that you can swap them out for something more color control.
Orange LEDs though too.
Those might be RGB. I'm not sure if the audio tracing is RGB, but
I don't see RGB anywhere in this name here though.
Really? No. There's oh, you know what? Scroll down into the it's got a whole spread of features. I did see RGB for sure. Wait, does it say it right here? Whoa. Go up.
People are saying that the stream is buffering a lot.
It's buffering a lot?
It's buffering for me.
Well, they should stop buffering.
I'm just letting you know. People just keep mentioning it.
How'd that happen?
F. A lot of Fs. Hella Fs. We do not have Wi-Fi. We are connected directly via Ethernet, people, on YouTube. Let me double check. Let me double check. All right, we've got some technical difficulties here.
Twitch says 0 dropped frames. I don't know what YouTube's doing.
YouTube is live. Everyone refresh. Although if you can't see the stream right now, then
Twitch
it's pointless
seems
for me.
like it's okay on our end.
Yeah, my stream's fine. I don't know, guys. I'm seeing the stream.
Might be a
perfectly
regional
fine.
thing.
Maybe regional. Yeah. I would just say keep smashing F5 until something works. We haven't changed anything, so obviously it's not us. But okay, so then there's also one mini ITX board in this whole lineup, the ASRock Fatality B450 Gaming ITX AC, which indicates that it does have Wi-Fi in the AC variety.
Oh,
there's one M.2 slot, and it's this is actually one of the priciest boards on the list, 129.
What?
This is as much as the ROG board.
Wow.
As the ROG Strix B450F gaming, so which is a full ATX board, full features, so pretty hefty premium for the mini ITX version so far.
You think it's like because they think they're gonna be the only ones with mini ITX out of the gate, so they can sell it for more money or something?
Maybe out of the gate, but they're definitely gonna have to drop their price when other boards come out. Because it's a pretty basic looking board. I mean, it doesn't really have like VRM heat sinks.
It looks like it's got 4-pin and
RGB.
3-pin RGB.
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, how many? 3, 4, 6 MOSFETs right there. It's got a reinforced PCIe slot. It's got a reinforced PCIe slot.
Oh yeah.
Metal. I mean, that definitely drives the price up.
reinforced.
And very worthwhile feature.
Okay.
7.1 audio and all that. So I'm sure it's a great board, but 129 is still kind of steep for a mini ATX B450 board.
Yeah.
That looks like that. Okay, B450. Yay!
Yay, B450.
Options, and you can buy them now. Yay, double yay. All right, moving on. WCCF Tech has written about Tesla running low on cash, now demanding retroactive price cuts from their suppliers.
What?
So this is interesting. Wall Street has reacted quickly to all this, by the way, and prices of Tesla stock fell by 4% at market opening this morning. And I guess this, I guess we can start off by saying that automakers like Tesla usually incentivize their suppliers to give them the best prices possible by offering, by meeting them at the negotiation table and saying, look, we can promise you really high demand. We have the ability as automakers, since we're selling hundreds of thousands of vehicles nationwide or globally, to buy millions of units at a time from you. All right, we can do this over several years. Come on, give us a really awesome rate. And so it's a really hard deal for a lot of these suppliers to turn down. They can't say no to the automakers. And these contracts lock both parties in for several years at a time. But as it turns out, there was a memo to the Wall Street Journal recently that confirmed that Tesla is going back to these suppliers years after they've purchased some of these parts and asking them for price cuts on these historical purchases dating all the way back to 2016. So it's like stuff that they bought from a supplier, like 1 million nuts and bolts that they bought in 2016. They're now going back and saying, hey, could we get like a cash rebate? Could you give us a discount on the products we bought from you 2 years ago? And it's something that's virtually unheard of in the automotive industry, according to this article.
It's normal.
A couple,
It's very normal.
Specialists, they're saying this is absolutely ludicrous. But then again, Tesla's never really been a company to follow the rules, right? To color inside the lines. So it's really interesting. It also shows that Tesla's kind of desperate right now for just straight cold hard cash. And also that they care more about their cash flow than perhaps their own suppliers. Because at this point, when the supplier is locked into a several year-long contract and they're basically giving the lowest prices they can, the lowest prices possible to these automakers. So they're already making razor-thin margins off of the products they're selling. And now Tesla's saying, could you give us a little bit more? If they were to do that, if these suppliers were to actually honor their requests, they could be hitting a direct cash hit to their bottom line. That would put a lot of people, maybe their employees, in jeopardy. So Tesla's pretty desperate right now. On the bright side, their Model 3 production is finally hitting their their magical 5,000 units a week quota that Elon Musk was kind of like promising and was really touting as a crucial milestone for the company. He was saying this a year ago. We're going to make 5,000 Model 3s a week. It's going to happen. That's what we need to be stable and to start making money. They're finally hitting that after like a whole year of promising. They were falling really short of that in recent months, but they're finally there. The bad side is that the company's burning through cash rapidly. Like there's a giant gaping hole in their pockets. $230 million worth of convertible bonds are due in November. And a possible $920 million in convertibles, almost $1 billion, will become due in March of 2019 if the price of Tesla stock doesn't reach $359.87. That's very specific. According to the article, Tesla is currently consuming around $1 billion every quarter, and they've already cut 9% of their workforce, indicating that they are struggling here, trying to shave down their own spending, but Tesla's predicted to be out of cash by the first quarter of 2019. No confirmation as to whether or not the supplier's response to the automaker's oddly bold request has been favorable or not. I would assume most suppliers are going to say, you know, fuck off. That's bullshit. But damn, Tesla's in a tight spot. I'm hoping that
seems like it.
Elon Musk can somehow dig him out of this hole. I mean, he is also the founder of the Boring Company, so I figured, you know, literally this makes sense. But, you know, who knows? Who knows? It also makes me wonder, what if Tesla just went completely bankrupt and, like, lost all their money, had to close down shop? What would happen to all the Tesla owners? Like, would they still receive support for their cars? Would they still have dealerships to take their cars into? What happens when
shut down all their supercharging stations?
Right, exactly, all that shit. What happens to the car owner when the car manufacturer dies? I don't know. It's interesting. And that's probably maybe however unlikely or way down the line. I don't know. Things to think about, folks. Things to think about. Let's move on, though. This article from Hot and Heavy Hardware. No, it's just Hot Hardware. They'd be copying us if it was called Hot and Heavy Hardware. So maybe we copy them by calling our segment. Anyway, this is about an evil mate attack. Evil mate attacks creating backdoors with firmware installs under 4 minutes. This is actually kind of scary, somewhat. There was a security firm that recently posted a video. You can play the video if you want and skim through it or whatever. It's a video that demonstrates how a potential hacker with physical access to your device can install malicious firmware onto it in under 4 minutes flat. Wow. Now, this is also why they call it the evil mate attack, is because, like, let's say you're in a hotel or something like that. The only person who would really have the ability to come into your room while you're not there would be a maid, and that's, of course, the perfect opportunity to strike and install evil backdoors and foul malware and shit like that. Because
people with the technical knowledge to be able to do this sort of thing
often
work as hotel maids, from what I understand.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
It's just some obligatory shady dude dressed up in a maid's outfit at like a Marriott. Oh, hello. He's like clearly a Russian hacker. All right, so this requires removing the laptop's backplate, as you can see here, in order to access the device's Serial Programmable Interface, or SPI, flash chip. So you're accessing basically the flash chip where the firmware is stored. All right, and then once you've located where the firmware is stored, you can attach a hardware programming device, which is used for flashing firmware and can be purchased for a mere $300 or less. So very accessible, easy to obtain, cheap. This device that they've attached, which looks kind of like a, I don't know, just looks like a silver box type of thing.
It's got a DEF CON sticker on it.
DEF CON sticker on it. This thing loads the back door onto your device, and then you're screwed. Yeah, so right now he's just waiting. You can see the timer on the left there. We're approaching 2 minutes. After about, 3 minutes or so, he pops it off, and proceeds to replace the back plate of the laptop, and it's like wham bam, thank you ma'am, never even happened, but all of a sudden now they have access to the files in your computer, and they can track your movements because it's essentially a backdoor. So I guess the moral of the story here, folks, is if you have highly sensitive data or information on your laptops or notebooks, that you should be aware of who has the potential to compromise that. And if you do find yourself in a hotel where you think scams like this happen or not super rare or not super uncommon, then maybe take advantage of some of those hotel safes that they have in those rooms. There are safes in lots of hotel rooms, or maybe you can request a safe or something from concierge to actually put it in where the maids don't have access to the actual safe code. Or just hide it. Just hide your laptop, make sure it's password protected. The article suggests going into the BIOS and disabling the firmware debugging ability, but I feel like a hacker who knows how to do this might also know how to go into your BIOS and just reset that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, something to be aware of. This is really just, this isn't something that's necessarily going around and is infecting millions of users worldwide or anything, but it's just, it was a security firm who wanted us all to be aware that this is a possibility. So the more you know.
Physical access is often a huge security vulnerability with computers.
Indeed. Their grubby little hands on it. Next up, we have a leak from overclock3d.net. Maybe not directly from them, but it's about a leak for the GTX 11 series release dates. Woo! You can maybe get some juicy details, some juicy rumor leaks on when these cards are going to be available to the market. And this is actually from Gamer Meld originally, who's a tech YouTuber who I'm not familiar with.
It's a 1080 plus.
We'll get there. So Gamer Meld, a tech YouTuber, leaked an email which the validity of this email has not been verified. So bear that in mind. This is all rumor mill. That contains the release dates of the GTX 1180, almost a 1080. The 1180, GTX 1180 is presumably going to be launched on August 30th. The GTX 1170 is presumably going to launch on September 30th, a month later, and the GTX 1160 would be a month after that, on October 30th. So month after month after month, starting from August, we'll see 1180, 1170, and 1160. The email mentions the GTX 1180 Plus, as Paul mentioned, but this is likely just referring to add-in board partner variants. So cards that companies like Asus, MSI, Gigabyte have taken the reference model, taken the cooler off, and added their own flair, maybe tweaked some of the other
makes sense
elements. So yeah, this does these dates, however sketchy the email or leak might be, the release date does make sense to a degree when you think about previous release cycles from NVIDIA and how they release their graphics cards. They usually start with the 80, the XX80 first, and then they'll release the lower tier ones like the 70, XX70 SKU and the XX60 SKU, and then later on they'll release the 80 Ti, or whatever they want to call their premium flagship card, GeForce card. So Paul and I, cannot confirm or deny any of the rumors here. We're just giving you this information as rumors come about, and I'm sure all of this will be confirmed or denied for you either by us or not in the near future. So
quick note to anyone in chat who's talking about stream lag or anything like that. I just double checked and we have 0 dropped frames.
0. So it must be YouTube.
Anything you guys are seeing as either a regional outage or YouTube or something like that.
Yeah. Try streaming at a lower resolution or watch us on Twitch if you really have to. Twitch seems to be fine. Twitch is just having a dandy old time.
Yep.
All right. Thus concludes Tech News. We can move on to Ask the Audience.
Yay.
Segment where Paul and I ask you, the audience.
You're going to talk about this?
There's one more article before we go on to Ask the Audience. I did not see that one. Thank you, Paul. This is from overclock3d.net once again. This is about Samsung launching their MicroLED TVs next year.
The wall.
The wall. So MicroLED is a technology that improves upon quantum dot, or QLED, and OLED panels that LG is very, very famous for, while eliminating the disadvantages that come with both. Sorry, it was an internal
Recover.
burp. I'm good.
Okay.
All right. So the disadvantage of QLED is the latency, for example. Not the latency. The per pixel luminance in QLED panels. So they have to be, backlit and stuff like that, which definitely contributes to a lot of backlight bleed, hot spots, and things like that. And then there's also the disadvantages of OLED panels, such as latency and color burn-in, which is terrible. Terrible things to have. Apparently MicroLED, Samsung's new MicroLED is going to solve both of these issues, and it'll just be one singular technology that will rule the TV world, apparently. In CES 2018, earlier this year, Samsung revealed their 146-inch TV using MicroLED technology that they deemed the wall.
The wall.
Or they dubbed the wall. It's certainly a wall because it kind of looks like the wall. It's very, very thin. It was 80 millimeters at the time. 80 millimeters thick, very thin. The display size, thanks to the modularity of micro-LED technology, allows the screen sizes to be scaled almost endlessly, which is how they were able to get it to 146 inches so easily. They do have plans to release the 146-inch and the 73-inch models next year in 2018. You could have the wall on your wall. Pretty compelling.
That's like almost like they want it to be a consumer product.
Almost, because these ones definitely are not. 73-inch and 146-inch micro LED TVs are not going to be cheap. These will be some of the most expensive TVs on the market ever.
It's like $1,000.
It's like OLEDs 5 years ago. It was just like, who the fuck had $20,000 to blow on a LG OLED 70-inch screen?
$2,000?
$20,000.
$20,000?
Yeah. I mean, TV technology does not come cheap when you're a very, very, very early adopter. And this is going to be no different. So the other thing is that when they release next year, these TVs will be 30 millimeters thick. That's 50 millimeters thinner than they were just at this year's CES. So the technology is already advancing so quickly that they're able to scale it down.
3 centimeters?
3 centimeters thick. That is thick.
It's like that thick.
Yeah, it's really thick. Thin. Really thin.
At the thickest point, right?
I want to say, like, at the thickest point. Why don't people say, that shit is thin?
It's thinner than...
Like with 2 N's. Like, thin.
Thin.
Thin. That's so thin. T-H-I-N-N. Let me see that. Let me see them thins in chat. Y'all know what I mean. So apart from modularity, micro-LEDs can offer incredible brightness levels, an extremely wide color gamut, and extreme levels of contrast, with the technology being self-emitting. It's a self-emitting technology. It means you don't need a backlight system. You don't need backlighting. It has per-pixel illumination that a QLED lacks. See, thin. It works perfectly fine in chat. I'm liking it. Thin, thin, thin. What? Let's see more thins.
I could see that catching on.
Thin. So thin. Yes. Let's make this catch on, just like we made, calling Steve from Gamers Nexus Tech Jesus.
It's like Huck Thin.
A thin. Shit is thin, bro. All right. There's so yeah, you don't need any backlighting. That's awesome. You don't need any color filtering. Samsung claims this is going to be the next standard for future screen technology. There's also no burn-in with OLEDs, which is interesting because without any burn-in, we can potentially see micro-LED make its way to PC gaming monitors, or PC monitors in general, computer monitors. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but there really aren't any OLED PC monitors because the burn-in would be so severe from having just like, a static screen or a static image like your desktop wallpaper, or, being, on a web page for more than 10 seconds at a time. Whereas with like a TV, like movie or TV show, the image is constantly changing, so it doesn't really burn in quite as easily. So that might be kind of cool, having a micro LED being brought to the PC gaming market. Who knows? That's all I got for now, though. Only coming to luxury displays.
That sounds exciting.
Could be years before the micro LED technology hits the general consumer market, because the 73-inch and 146-inch models are, again, going to be the luxury audience.
Insanely expensive.
Insane.
Seems like in the past when there's been new display technology that comes out though, like you always see it in TVs first and often for a long time before you actually see it in monitors.
Right.
Which sucks.
It does. We get the, you know,
like 4K
scraps.
4K TVs at home that you'd use at home have been pretty standard for the past couple of years, but we're still only just seeing 4K. I think like 4K HDR is only starting to be a thing with PC monitors. So
yeah. Yep.
If this is effective for a PC monitor, for gaming in particular, I hope it transitions more quickly than other techs have in the past.
I agree. All right, now we can move on to Ask the Audience. Now we're ready for it. Paul and I will ask you guys a series of 3 questions. You guys answer as honestly as possible. Please, that's what makes it fun. And then Paul and I will guess what you answer. And we'll decide...
We don't have lower thirds for this.
We don't? How's there no Ask the
I
Audience?
thought we did.
Weird.
Right here.
Well, I guess you could just fill it up with some other...
2017 predictions.
I predict 27...
God bless you.
Jesus!
Jeez.
Ah!
That sounded painful.
It did hurt a lot.
Why did that hurt?
Ow. Why do sneezes hurt me?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm messed up, Paul. I'm totally messed up. All right. First question. Do you get all of your video consumption
What's the deal?
exclusively from the internet?
I'm just, instead of showing your question, I'm just going to keep going to
Just
random,
keep cycling through them?
random old lower thirds that we haven't used in a long time.
That won't confuse anyone joining the stream.
Like,
whoa.
like videos that are good.
Videos that are good. Yeah. Pit boy.
That was a classic.
All right.
You should bring that one back.
Videos that are good. I don't know why that segment never took off.
We have Guess the Audience. Let's do... All right. Guess the Audience is the closest we have to Ask the Audience. So, anyway.
Okay. I think, Sel, thank you very much, Sel, for posting that link in chat. So, the question was, do you get all of your video consumption exclusively from the internet? Meaning, do you rely... Do you have to rely on... Are you a cable cutter? Do you rely on cable TV still to watch your shows and movies and stuff like that? Or are you relying 100% on the internet for this? And I phrase it this way, kind of seemingly complicated, because some of you might be living with your parents or other people who have a cable subscription that you don't use at all. It's just for them. It might just be your parents who watch cable, but you don't watch any of it. So that's why it's worded kind of weirdly. Yeah, while you guys answer that as honestly as you can, Paul and I are gonna go ahead and deliver the second question to give you guys some time to answer that one before we argue the first one, which is the second question. What would be weirder?
Weirder.
You can put this one up on screen. That's that's just an empty straw poll. Oh shit!
What did you do?
Why didn't it work?
Oh no.
Here, all right.
Broken?
You argue. All right. You answer your first thing. Go to the first question.
What's your favorite color?
No.
Wait, this one?
I don't know why that link didn't work.
I don't either.
Just make your argument for the first question really quick.
Let's look at the third question.
Okay, fine.
Third question is, what is your favorite color? We have black, even though black is really just the absence of color. White, even though white actually contains all wavelengths, or lots of other colors. I like that you have a teal in there specifically. It's good.
It seems like a popular off color.
Why poop?
No, what are you doing? No, don't do that.
Making this job.
Why are you doing that? Why poop? What are the answers even going to look like for that? Like, why not? I like poop bad. Poop. Poop okay.
This is
The indifference of poop.
This is really the important question.
These are the heavy hitters. These are the heavy hitters that we have to ask, folks.
Here you go, guys.
All right.
Everyone vote on that one. It's very important that we get that answered.
Okay, so do we go back?
What were you? Sorry, let's
answer the first question.
This is a serious show.
All right, should we give them the second question that is now ready?
It's
That's not about
ready
poop?
now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
The question here is, what would be weirder? a clean-shaven Kyle or a soul patchless Paul?
Ah,
I feel like this.
there it is.
These are the questions we need to answer. Okay.
This is good. This is a good question to ask.
You can tell I had plenty of time to prepare for the show, and I was super on top of things. All right. So while you guys are answering all that, let's answer the let's guess on the first
It's
question.
very important we get your feedback on this stuff, guys.
I know.
Don't shirk this opportunity
Don't jerk it.
to have an influence on the future of all humanity.
What Paul said.
Just trying to be a positive
Just trying to be a light in this world.
influence.
All right.
Okay,
Poop
so
All right. What percentage of people do you think only consume video from the internet, Paul? What percentage?
this is a yes or no. Okay.
Correct.
For our audience, I'm gonna say 58% yes.
58.
Yeah, 58% get all of their video exclusively from the internet. 58%.
Okay. I'm gonna say you're wrong. I think you're too low. Our audience is very.
I don't care what you think.
They're very new age. They're up and current, right? They're relevant. Okay.
So 59%.
I was gonna say.
I mean, if you're being strategic,
Really going off on a limb. No, I think that would be a little cheap because I've done that in the past, and I'll probably do it again today. But I think for this one, I'm gonna go with. I don't know, 69% just seems right.
69%.
For no reason in particular.
I chose 58%. Cal chose 69%, which means that if it is 64.5, no, 6.
I can't math right now. What is it? 69.
58
What's
plus
69?
5.5.
No, what's 69 plus
It'd be 60.
50,
If it's 63,
58.
if it's 63.5%, then we tie.
60 what? 3.5.
63.5% would be a tie,
Okay.
and the results.
That's all I got to. Oh!
Wow.
Whoa! I was
Well-
way closer
well
than
above,
you.
Well above, Kyle. You win.
Holy moly.
Almost 2/3.
3/4.
Almost 3/4. I know.
Dude,
I know.
You got the 63.5 on point,
I did.
but you don't know your basic fractions.
So almost 8/5 of you guys get all of your video consumption exclusively from the internet. That is good to know. Lots of cord cutters out there.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Damn.
You know,
That's
screw
quite
the
surprising.
screw big cable, right? Who wants to pay for your cable?
You're just putting money in Ajit Pai's pockets.
Exactly.
He's the devil.
Maybe not directly, but in some roundabout way. That's
Directly.
what you're doing.
Okay. Next
All right.
question. What would be weirder? Clean-shaven Kyle or soul patchless Paul? I don't think I've ever seen you without a soul patch in person. You've had one ever since I've met you, and it's never gone away ever since I've met you. Since the day I met you in 2011, and I met you without having any of this. For the first couple of years, I was clean-shaven, but then at some point, maybe in 2013 or something, I just started growing it out, and I don't think I think there might be once or twice since then that I've actually shaved it all off. I know for a fact that for the YouTuber impersonations or the YouTuber impressions video, I did shave it all. I think to do yours and like Austin's impersonation, a couple other people, but since then I really haven't touched it. So either way, it's going to be weird. Whatever, either of these is going to be a weird option. But which one did you guys think would be weirder? And again, I guess we'll go with another percentage here. So I'll just go with my percentage being, I think I have a feeling they're going to find your lack of a soul patch weirder for some reason, because it's just so like mine's just normal, it's every day, but I feel like your soul patch is more like iconic. Like if I was doing charades, no, not charades. If I was playing Pictionary and the word that I had to draw for my team was Paul, I would literally just draw a soul patch and they'd probably guess Paul. I'd just draw like 3 lines and they'd be like, Paul. because that's how married you are to that image. So I'm gonna say 69%. Once again, since it didn't fail me the last time, 69% of people prefer a clean shave, or would think that a soul patchless Paul would be the weirder of the two.
Okay.
What say you?
Oh, 68%. I mean, I'm just trying to play the odds. I don't have
Playing the game.
I don't have some crazy explanation like you. I'm just.
You're right. You don't, because you're wrong.
Let's see what people said.
And you know I'm going to dominate you right now.
I
Oh,
win.
shit.
Actually, you
What?
would look way weirder without your bearder. Right? Sorry.
Then I bet my match
I win.
with you and your soul patch.
All right, we're 1-1.
Yep. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, now I know that this has some value. You know, now I can like dangle it like a carrot over your heads. Hey guys, give me all your money if you want to see me clean shaven. I'll figure out some way to exploit that.
I think a lot of people are interested in what that would all be about.
As well they should be.
All right, what's your favorite color?
Finally.
Usually it's blue, no yellow, but I'm gonna choose. Blue, just because that's blue.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll just go based off of straight
Okay.
colors. We don't have to
Yeah.
do percentages. I'm gonna eliminate some other stupid color. I think that's not fair for either of us to pick. So I'm gonna go with black.
Black.
Yeah. I see a lot of people wearing black. See a lot of people.
Interesting.
I sell a lot of black shirts. Out of all my shirts,
It's true.
I sell black
is
the
a
most.
Very popular shirt color.
Even though I mostly only sell black shirts. Maybe that skews the results a bit, but I'm still gonna go with black.
Wow, you're using real world information here.
Yep, because I'm a scientist.
All right. Results: blue.
Hey!
Winner again.
Well done. Well played, Paul.
Looks like I
And you
win.
know-
Asked the audience with a score of 2-1,
Yep, you
which
do.
means that Kyle
I have to drink.
has to drink. Oh, I'm gonna drink too.
One more.
One final bonus question: why poop? I like poop. Poop bad or poop okay?
I like poop.
Okay, I'm gonna go poop okay.
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 All right.
Poop okay.
Damn it! God, you are so good with your poop. All these, you know our audience so well, Paul.
I just do poop okay. It just makes sense, right?
I guess you're right.
Why would you not be okay? You poop every day, right? Poop okay.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
But it could be bad, which is why it's okay.
And like
'Cause
you,
sometimes
you
it's
shouldn't
good.
you shouldn't like poop. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
You like it. Like
Well,
it's okay.
I like to poop,
Yeah, I mean sometimes it can be very satisfying.
although sometimes it's not. So I guess you're right. You know, I kind of agree with the poop okay team.
I agree too.
Yeah, I didn't think about my. I should have treated this like the serious question it is. I think that's what this boils down to. I just wrote it off as some stupid ignoramus
yeah.
question that two morons would ask.
No, it's very important that we ask the audience these important questions.
Sorry for underestimating your genius.
You
Our
know,
genius.
It's just how it goes.
It is.
All right.
All right, that's
What's
it.
next?
That's it. Donations. We can do some donations now. That's pretty much going to do it for my half of the show.
Okay.
So let's rattle off some of the leftover donations from Paul's half. Again, all these donations are going to sell for his birthday. Mr. Taz the Gamer, $9.99. Building my first PC. What are your thoughts on a MSI Z370 M5, 16 gigs of DDR4, and a 1080 Ti?
Z370 M5,
That's great.
16 gigs and a 1080 Ti sounds like a reasonable combination. If you're getting a Z370 motherboard, I would assume you're getting like an 8600K or 8700K to go along with it. That's a good combo.
Yeah,
Good
that'll
deal.
last you many years.
Yep.
Revolution.
Revolution.
€5. Hey guys, we hope to meet you next year at CES and at Computex. It'd be great to hang out with you in Taipei. We're small colleagues from Italy. Well, that's cool.
Like small as in your stature? Are you physically small?
I mean, we're pretty.
That'd be my curiosity.
I'm pretty small, so I'd probably fit in with
Kyle's
you guys.
only
quite
about 5'6".
Yeah, 5'6.5".
5'6.5".
I have to give the
maybe pushing 5'7".
I have to give the 0.5 just because.
So just make
I'm
sure
short.
you get our attention, otherwise we might not see you.
That's true.
Depending on how small you actually are.
Sit on each other's shoulders. That usually helps. But that'd be cool to see you
yeah,
guys.
we're gonna be at CES.
We will. Wow. To say that like that's coming up.
We're
God.
still in the long there's a longer gap between Computex and CES than there is between CES and Computex.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's okay. Still got many months.
Crazy. Jared Gibson, $4.99. What is the smallest ITX case that can fit a 280mm GPU?
GPU?
280mm GPU. I was expecting AO.
Is that?
Jeez.
I wouldn't know the answer to that off the top of my head.
I don't know either. How many inches is that? That's what she said. 200.
There's a lot of cases, many ITX cases that can fit pretty substantially sized GPUs when it comes to length.
It's 11 inches.
11 inches, so
That's
on the
what she
longer side, but not the longest.
That's what she said.
I
would think
a lot of them can.
Yeah.
Fit 10.5, at least 10.5 inch. I think is, excuse me, a little bit more standard size.
Right.
Because I think that's what your NVIDIA Founders Edition card lengths are.
You might want to check like the N-Case M1.
Yeah.
That's a really compact case that has full length graphics card support.
The fractal. So what's the model for the tall skinny fractal one?
Oh, the Node 202.
Yeah, Node 202.
Node 202.
I don't know if it goes up to that length, but I know the GPU chamber in there is like pretty substantial.
Right.
It's a kind of a specific question, so it's hard to immediately know.
You could also check out the Silverstone SG05.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of a cubish type of case, but it supports a SFX power supply, which definitely whittles down the size. That can support some pretty lengthy graphics cards as well.
Guido Salducci said the Cooler Master Elite 130
very similar to the SG05.
Well.
Very similar, except I think that one has a full ATX power supply and is slightly bigger.
Yeah.
But that's a good option too.
Okay.
All right. There's some food for thought. Thank you for the question.
Jason Christoph.
$9.99. Happy birthday, Cell, again. Kyle, Pit My PC, do you guys like Black and Blue Guinness and Blue Moon?
Yes.
What's Black and Blue Guinness?
I like Blue Moon. I've not had Black and Blue Guinness, so I'm not sure.
I'm not a huge Blue Moon fan.
Excuse me.
Guinness is okay. I will drink Guinness and be happy with it. Blue Moon, not so much. It's too weedy. I'm not a huge fan of the weedy beers. Anything that goes well in orange.
Just picky.
Not picky. You're picky. Sober Squid.
Okay.
500 yen. Hey, we got a Japanese local, perhaps. I'm sure you exchanged your Japanese yen during your last visit to Japan. I hope this is enough to go buy some Asahi Zero or Kirin all free. LOL.
Are those alcohol-free versions of Asahi and Kirin? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it does sound that way.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it definitely is. Japan was very big on their alcohol-free beer. I saw a lot of I saw a lot of beer that just said like, well, because I bought a lot of beer in Japan, and like every convenience store I went into, there was like at least 1 or 2 brands of beer that just said no alcohol, but it was like right there with all the other beer and said, yeah. I'm sure some of it was from Asahi and stuff. I didn't drink any of it because it just seemed like less fun and didn't seem worth my money. But now that we have 500 yen, hell yeah. Maybe I'll give it a shot.
There you go.
Thank you, Sober Squid.
Andrew Schreier.
It also explains why he's a Sober Squid.
That's true.
All right. I'm sorry.
$5 Canadian from Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. 2 beers for sale or a 6-pack. Just enjoy them beers and cheers.
Beers and cheers.
Cheers to you, Andrew.
You nice, kind Canadian.
Thank you muchly for your donation.
TV Chow!
TV Chow.
For the $5. I never win the giveaway, but I entered yours, Paul.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations, man. Also beginning to save for the RTX next year. I really hope you two get invited. Actually,
Thank you,
Phoebe,
Phoebe.
we were invited this year.
We were.
But we just had so much going on.
Like, you know what? We don't
we
don't even want to go to that. We were like, we think it's going to be stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Linus
Dumb.
Media
Linus
Group is
sucks.
stupid.
He sucks.
I think they're dumb.
It's not like I'm on his platform or anything.
No, we were invited this year. It didn't work out to go, but
Yeah.
it sounded like Jay had a great time, and it's definitely something we would be interested in joining in the future. So
Steve from Gamers Nexus
don't
went there
rule us
too.
out. Oh yeah, Steve from Gamers Next.
It sounds like he had a good time too. So maybe we'll go next year. Yeah. Maybe I'll place in the case toss or something like that. Mark Anderson, 5 Australiers. Cheers, Cell. Happy birthday. A lot of love for the Cell.
Thanks, Mark.
Woo.
Wait,
Thank
you
you.
passed what you
I
skipped
did.
one though. Gramden.
Gramden, $20. Happy birthday, Cell. Once again, Cell getting a lot of attention today on his birthday, which was yesterday. Drinking a delicious drink out of my shiny new thumbscrew pub glass while I'm watching. Woo!
Glorious.
Also looking to build my first system sometime soon using what I've learned from watching you guys.
Oh,
Well, then God help you.
best of luck to you, Gramden.
If you're using us as a primary source.
Make sure you keep a drink handy for your first time around. Make sure you just don't take things too seriously.
Make sure your hands aren't too wet while you're building your first PC. But thank you very much, Gramden. It's appreciated. Michael Seacrest. Jeez, I keep thinking Seacrest like Ryan
Doesn't
Seacrest.
seem like Seacrest.
No, Michael Seacrest. $10. Have you had anything from Great Lakes Brewing, Platform, or Market Garden Cleveland, Ohio, or Hopping Frog, Akron, Ohio? I'm sure I've had at least 1 or 2 beers from 1 or 2 of those breweries that you've mentioned, but I can't quite pinpoint it, so...
Hopping Frog sounds familiar for some reason.
Great Lakes Brewing sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
I'm sure I have. I've had a lot of different beers, but I can't really place any of them right now. So if your intention was to send us any of that, then we will definitely drink it.
We'll try it.
Yep. Thank you,
know what we
Michael.
think.
Gramden, once again, $10. Also, what is a decent monitor around 27 inches that has pretty good specs and performance and doesn't break the bank? I would get a 2560 by 1440 display at 27 inches. I think that's the perfect resolution for that screen size. I would also look into either FreeSync or G-Sync if you have,
Depending on the
graphics card. G-Sync if you can afford it, because that's going to be significantly more expensive usually than a FreeSync panel. Look for high refresh rate. If you have a graphics card that is capable of delivering higher refresh rates in games, in most games that you play. And it's really hard to say without knowing your budget. These monitors can range anywhere from 100 or so bucks all the way up to the thousands.
Yeah.
It's really tough, but a good 27-inch 1440p monitor, I think you can get a pretty good one for under 300.
The RG Swift is a good option.
The
I
AOCs are
forget the
good
model on
too.
that one, but
Acer makes some really good ones. Yeah, ROG.
Samsung, BenQ.
Yeah.
There's
Again,
quite a few good options.
there's a lot of information here that would be handy, but good luck. $5 from Franklin Robbins. Happy birthday, Cell. Based on a comment from the last half, you guys should start a new segment. Homebrew review. Try and review homebrew from viewers.
Oh.
That's kind of cool. It's kind of like an extension of mail time a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like we need to get a few home brews in to be able to compare them to each other or something.
Without poison.
Hopefully with no poison in any of them as well. That would really add to the segment, I think.
That's a feature. Xeon Nuke, once again, $5. I'm from Trinidad. Thank you for clarifying. No offense taken, that's usually the general response we get. We have fiber optic internet here, Kyle. This is the 21st century.
Damn.
LOL. Well, you showed me,
I've got fiber.
Mr. Xeon. You got fiber too. I'm still on that crappy non-fiber
Copper?
crap. Yeah, copper.
Yeah.
Which is still really fast. We have fast speeds here.
That's fast fiber.
Shut up.
MB67 lenticular.
$35.
$35.
Some B-Day money for you, Cell. Kyle, since you guilt-shamed me, I hope that you had a good time at Comic-Con as well. That's right! Guilt-shaming is always effective. That's why I do it to everyone I see. I tried to attend the meetup, but I needed a Comic-Con badge, and those sold out immediately. Yes, they did.
Yeah, sorry about
They
that.
kind of fell on our laps this year for the first time in ever, so that's why we jumped on them, because we know how hard they are to get. So, sorry we missed you, MB, but I'm sure there will be another opportunity. There always is. Maybe TwitchCon will be in San Diego again, or I don't know.
Probably will.
We'll see.
Next time we should do a meetup outside of the con, maybe.
That'd be cool too.
That'd be reasonable.
dual meetups. Data Q, 10 Australiers. Happy birthday, Cell. Have $10 from Australia. P.S. Lyle for president. That would be a terrible idea. But,
Lyle for president.
But there have been worse options.
AJ Auditore.
$20. Hey, Kyle and Paul. Been watching your guys' work for a couple months now and love every bit of it.
Thank you, AJ.
Will there be any ITX builds coming up? Been trying to find a nice small 4K build. Thanks a lot. Keep being awesome. I don't have any planned. Well, I do, but it's gonna have to wait until the case. I ordered a Dan case A4
cool.
V3, so the newest one that should be shipping starting tomorrow, actually.
Nice.
So I'll be doing a build in that. Probably gonna be Ryzen 2nd gen. And maybe a GTX 1180 if those are out by the time I get around to that project. That'd be pretty friggin' sweet. So we'll see.
I have nothing planned as specifically as Kyle, but I'm sure I will do another mini ITX build at some point in the future. But I'll try to let you know when that's coming. Thank you, AJ.
Thanks, man.
Tim, $20. Thanks
Timmy.
for the Tesla segment. I have a job interview there tomorrow, and now I'm worried about job longevity.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Tim. Oh, and happy birthday, Sal, and double if this went through twice since the first one froze. Tim, it doesn't look like that's the case.
So your $20, your other $20 is safe.
Yeah, thanks for your $20.
Darn it.
And thank you for your donation.
Holy
and,
crap.
Best of luck with the Tesla job interview.
I think we should cut off donations because I didn't realize there's still a page and a half.
There is. Guys, stop donating.
Stop it.
I mean, we love Sal
love
and everything,
Sal.
but we got to end the show too, so no more donations, please.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get through the rest of these.
Your generosity is inconveniencing us.
I know.
Thank you, guys.
Tobin, $10. My PC is a CPU Ryzen 1300X with an MSI X370 gaming M7, 32 gigs of DDR4, MSI 1070 Ti, 8 gig by 2 SLI running with a 960 EVO M.2 SSD. No VSync will upgrade my CPU to get me 100 FPS and away from 60 FPS. Absolutely, your CPU is holding you back in that configuration.
Big time.
So upgrade.
What a weird config.
Upgrade that CPU.
What a weird config because he's also he has an X370 board that's fairly high end. An M7, that's...
It's strange that he would have gotten that combination of hardware to get started, but, you know, you've got a really nice platform apart from the CPU, and there's plenty of CPU upgrades, so you're not in a bad situation. Just look at 2700Xs, 1700s, 1700X, 1800, 1800X, like any of the 8-core options, Ryzen 1st gen or Ryzen 2nd gen, and upgrade to that.
Yeah.
Whichever one you can get cheap.
I agree.
Cool.
Tobin, $10 again. My PC is a CPU Ryzen. Oh wait, no, that's the same one.
Oh, he duplicated it.
Okay. Carrie Peterson, $5. Building my first water-cooled loop soon. Can you mount a res on its side? Build will be in a Corsair 280X. Thoughts? Happy birthday, Cell. Sweet cut, Kyle. I think he means my haircut. Thank you very much.
You can mount a res on its side.
Yeah.
When you're mounting reservoirs, the main thing you want to consider is how you might bleed it in the future, which can sometimes be inconvenient depending on how difficult it is to lift and rotate your case.
True.
Beyond that, the main thing you want to be making sure of is that your reservoir is above your pump, because pumps typically are not ever supposed to run dry. Reservoir needs to be physically above the pump so you can fill the reservoir and that it will fill the pump, and then you can turn the pump on and cycle liquid through the loop without the reservoir emptying and your pump running dry.
Correct.
That's the main thing you need to consider. Okay.
Aaron Baker, $5. I built me an over-the-air antenna for the roof and connected it to Plex so I could still watch CBS and not have to pay for it and drop cable.
Nice.
That works.
I need to update my Plex Pass subscription. It ran out.
I've never messed with Plex.
Yeah, I might.
I'm pretty happy with my media setup right now, but maybe I'll do that in the future.
Plex is fun.
Duncan Morris, 5 Australiers. You asked earlier why someone called you floppy, Kyle. You literally have a floppy disk on the t-shirt you're wearing.
Oh, there you go.
That is very true. And if you guys couldn't tell, it says, I was the shit underneath it. Funny.
It's a good shirt.
It's a good shirt. I enjoy it.
Available on
Enjoy wearing it.
Bitwit.
No, it's not.
No, never mind.
This is not my shirt. Incorrect. False information.
Aaron, wait, no.
Duncan. No.
Lil Beefy DK.
Lil Beefy Dyke. No. Lil Beefy DK. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
$20. My
just let you
new
read the
PC i9-7980XE ROG Rampage 6 Extreme, a Corsair RGB Pro 64 gig kit of RAM, 1080 Ti SLI by 2, a 1200 watt Corsair power supply, the Corsair 1000D case, Samsung M.2 500 gig, Samsung Evo Pro 1 terabyte, WD Black X2 Corsair LL120, 21 Corsair LL120s. I don't know what a Compros X3 is. Thermal take temp sensor by 2. Little beefy DK. That either sounds like a extreme user's wish list, or if you're actually building that computer, you have room for an entire other computer in there, in the 1000D. So what are you doing with the mini ITX build? Is what I would ask. You know, gonna let that space go to waste?
Can you remove that?
There's zero point in getting the Corsair 1000D unless you're planning on using both, putting two systems in it. Other than that, there's so many more practical cases that are smaller.
Can you put more radiators in place of that mini ITX area?
No, it's really
okay.
Like it's where it is. It's like there's nothing else that would go there.
Right. Because that's you can it's modular for the Elite, for the Fantex M through Elite. You can remove the mini ITX mounting plate and put in radiators and fans and shit like that if you wanted to. So I was just wondering if the 1000D was similar, or if it's
no. I mean the mount for that lower system is part of the shroud,
right? For
the main power supply,
right?
So yeah, I mean, there's nothing.
Then yeah, you would want to.
Yeah, there's no other practical use of that space other than putting a computer there.
Sure.
And there's no reasonable reason to buy that case unless you're planning on putting two systems in it because it's so large and cumbersome and heavy and everything. But little beefy DK, if that's really what you're buying and what you're putting in there, then I wish you the best of luck with your build, and that's going to be pretty epic.
Word.
Wishbone.
$5. For Halloween this year, Paul should dress up as Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit.
No.
Hat and baggy pants galore.
Screw that, Fred
Wow.
Durst.
Would you do it? Would you do it, Paul? Would you do it? Would you be Fred Durst for Halloween?
No.
Oh my God, you could totally do it.
No, because Fred Durst is like...
he's got the soul patch, though. He's a white dude with a soul patch.
When
and
was the last time
if you just wore a backwards hat?
Fred Durst was relevant.
Exactly.
And I've never worn a backwards hat on any extended period of time, and especially not an MLB one.
Dude, but it would be hilarious because that was like also your not your childhood, but our generation was Limp Bizkit and shit.
It wasn't.
That's when they were relevant.
I take offense to the fact that you were identifying anyone's generation with Limp Bizkit.
I'm just saying they were more relevant then than they are now.
No, Limp Bizkit was like a mediocre band
I'm
that
not saying they were good.
On the success of other people's songs.
I'm not saying they were good.
They were extremely niche and sort of filling a void at the time.
They were niche, but everyone knew who they were.
It was vapid and horrible, and 2 years later they were a joke.
And you just happened to look exactly like their lead singer, but without a hat.
He looks like me, okay? I can't help that.
Oh, does he? Does he now? When were you born? What year? He's 47. He was born first.
He's old.
You look like Fred Durst.
Too.
He's almost 50.
He's all old.
You asshole.
Stupid.
You copied Fred Durst. Look at how old he looks. He looks like dust. He looks like that's you in 10 years.
He doesn't even do the soul patch anymore. He's got a full beard.
I know. You would be relevant Fred Durst. You'd be OG semi-relevant Fred Durst. And then when people ask you, "Hey, Paul, what are you for Halloween?" you could say irrelevant. See? You could dress as Fred Durst, ironically, in honor of you hating him, and advertise how much of a loser he is. It's like a hate costume.
If I dressed up like Fred Durst and went to a Halloween party, 90% of the people wouldn't know who I was because the people there would be younger.
Why would you be at that party in the first place then?
Because
it's like a bunch of college kids.
Because when you're older, you don't go to Halloween parties anymore. So I'm assuming
you'd have to go
a younger crowd.
But that would weed out all the shitty young millennials and just some people your age.
I did it all for the cookie. Thank you. Thank you, Chrono. All right. So
Oh, Jesus.
let's move on. Let's move on from this question. We
good
spent
Lord.
too much time on it.
Absolutely.
It's
$5 well spent, Wishbone.
Yangman Choi.
Hey, Yangmoon! My old high school pal.
$25 says computer. Oh, he's a friend of yours?
Yes, he is.
Friend of yours?
He's donated on the show before.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Yangmoon. We appreciate your computer donation. I hope that was intentional and you didn't like accidentally have a heart attack and fall on your keyboard and type the letter O 10 times, because that happens. But then his face would have had to like also roll on the perfect parts of his keyboard to finish the word computer. It'd be like the most graceful accident to ever come from a heart attack. I don't know what I'm talking about right now.
I don't either.
Thank you, Young Moon. I'm very, very, very grateful.
Jonathan S.
Jonathan S. Do you think the 3rd gen Ryzen compared to the 1600X will have significantly higher clock speeds?
It's really too early to say, Jonathan.
Yeah, we have not even caught wind of 3rd gen Ryzen from
We don't know what yields are going to be like.
sources.
We don't know what performance is going to be like. We don't know what frequencies are going to be like. I hope.
I would say,
I mean, that'd be nice.
it's
That'd
probably
be
going to have
super
higher
cool.
clock speeds than 2nd gen Ryzen, I would assume. Definitely than over the 1600X. Not only are we in a core war where Intel and AMD are trying to fight for who has the most cores, but it's also a bit of a clock speed war, and I feel like AMD, that's one area that they probably look at and go, yeah, Intel's kind of crushing us in that department. So I feel like with every passing generation, they're trying to up the maximum clock speed that their chips are capable of in order to stay competitive in that realm with Intel. So I would assume, I don't know anything, but I would assume that you'll see higher clock speeds on the newer generation Ryzen chips than you are now. Assumption.
It's reasonable.
Assumption. Guido Soducci, $5, done cleaning my build, and I am definitely getting rid of my Mastercase Maker Pro 6. No filters. Ugh. Suggestions? Full ATX Tai Chi X370. Really? The Mastercase Maker Pro 6 doesn't have filters?
That's the same case we built for a cell.
Is it? I thought it had dust filters. Why wouldn't it have dust filters?
I don't know. Yeah, this is the same one we built Cell's computer in.
That's so bizarre.
I thought I did. But it's been a while. So, yeah, it's
There's a dust filter.
got filters.
That's what I was thinking.
I see filters.
Whatever did you put it?
Cell.
I don't know, man. I think Jonathan, you need to, or no, sorry, Guido. Maybe you got ripped, bro. Did you buy your case used? Because it should have dust filters, at least at the front. The intake. Interesting. He said they screwed me then in chat. Yeah, if you bought it from some
In that case,
non-legit
just hold out for the N2 Fantex N2 X.
Evolve X.
The Evolve X. I think
That's gonna be
that's the coolest case.
that case.
Recently, and would be a worthy upgrade.
The case is the bee's knees.
Jason Christoph, $9.99 donation. Happy birthday, so. Black and blues are Blue Moon on bottom and Guinness on top. That makes sense.
Sweet.
The nitrogen, as you drink it, they mix. I have heard of that before.
Ah, black and
It's
blues.
like black and tan, but with,
yeah,
with Blue Moon.
I don't know why I didn't get that when you first.
That makes
Sorry,
perfect sense.
Now I feel dumb. Dumber than usual.
Thank you, Jason.
Finally.
Finally, Yang Moon Chua.
True.
He says, "Okay, stopping." This is your friend again, right?
Damn, Yangwin. Yes, it is.
Why is he stopping?
I don't know. Well, because I think he donated that when we said no more donations. And we were cutting it off.
Okay.
Thank you, Yang Moon.
Thank you, Yang Moon.
For the record, we're doing a special donation thing today where all of the proceeds go to our good friend and moderator, Cell Processing. So thank you, Yang Moon, for donating to that cause as well. And thank you to all of you for everyone else who donated. It's been great. Happy birthday again to Cell. We love you, dude. Thanks for everything you do for us. There is a Twitch raid, maybe? It doesn't look like there is.
There is.
There is. Is it at the top? No.
He's AFK.
He's AFK.
All right, guys, we're going to Twitch raid Warwich TV. He currently has 97 viewers.
That's actually not bad for being AFK.
Yeah, he looks like he's AFK right now, but I'm
Minimum
sure he's coming
effort.
back soon.
Okay, so then by the time he hurry up and raid him, it's what is it?
Playing Warhammer.
Warwich
Twitch.tv
TV.
/WARWITCH
Like a witch?
TV. Warwitch TV.
Warwitch
he might
TV.
Be back right now, and it looks like he's
Oh, he's doing some weird shit. You guys got to check this out.
he's got a
I don't know what's going on. Green screens and,
strobe light
and skulls and
some
ghosts and smoke.
cool
Maybe he's got a
outfit.
maybe a strobe light.
It's awesome.
Definitely a strobe light. If
It's
you
amazing.
have epilepsy or you have seizures, maybe don't watch it.
Gorgeous.
Okay, he went away. So go ahead and blow him up. Warwitch TV. Thank you guys so much. Oh, we have Johnson's to shut up
Oh
really
yeah,
quick.
some quick Johnsons before we go.
Or we don't, depending on if you guys hate
Oh,
us.
I do have quite a few actually.
All
All right, Sean B from Ohio got
B.
the pub glass 2 glass set. Thank you, Johnson, to you, Sean.
Double Johnson to Sean.
Double Johnson.
He got a bit with words in the circle. Pint glass.
Arthur H
Drink out
from
of it.
Wisconsin got the heavy metal gray thumbscrew shirt.
Victor.
Johnson, Arthur.
Victor got the Star Wars RGB everything.
Victor Double Johnson for Victor from Indiana. I also got the thumbscrew bottle opener and the RGB everything awesome hardware shirt.
Eric Johnson to you, sir, for picking up a CPU cooler navy blue t-shirt.
Eric Double Johnson.
Double Johnson, Eric.
Eric from Massachusetts.
Double
also
Johnson
got the
Eric.
20 ounce. Oh, the 4 glass 20 ounce set. That's a whole set.
Whoa.
You can drink with your friends.
Glass on glass.
That is super sexy.
Jose T. Thank you for picking up a BIOS flasher shirt.
Brian
Woo!
Brian H from Monterey, California. Thought the keycap set. Thank you, Brian, and a Johnson for you.
I'm all out.
And one more for Gerald. Gerald B from Minnesota. Got
Gerald.
the gaming desk mat sets. Thank you very much, Gerald. So everyone go raid Warwitch TV. Thank you so much for watching.
Do it. We'll host them right
Thumbs
here.
ups and all that good stuff. And if anyone wants to do
Timestamps?
timestamps, we always greatly appreciate it, and we'll pin your comment as well.
We certainly will. Thank
Thanks,
you guys.
guys.
Have a good night.
Bye bye.